Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. I've got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20, breaks free to the 25 to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Toward Bryant. He will glove it in front of Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning and like that page as well. So not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll also be following Shawn and Maya in the morning as well. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button. But also click the notification button. That's the little bell right next to it. And that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're listening and watching this on our mobile app, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, baby. What? Please don't tell me you didn't know we had a mobile app. Come on, peoples. You guys keep up with the program. Keep up with the Joneses and them. All right, listen. So wherever you get your apps from, go there. It doesn't matter if it's iTunes or Google Play or Amazon or Walmart or Kmart or 7-Eleven or Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Wars, Woolworths, Webolts, Gold Blast. It doesn't matter where you get your apps from. You go there, you download it. You type in, you take us with you on the go. You go there, download it. Take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, and not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, and not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles. Thanks to my man Clarence, Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching this on Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. We have our own Roku channel. So if you have a Roku television in the house, download Sports Zone Chicago's channel to your television. Do it like that, just like that. Put us there next to all the big boys: Netflix, Hulu, Prime, HBO Max, Apple, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Stars. Oh, Stars. Speaking of Stars, they said they're going to have Power Book 4, Power Book 3. Power Book 3 is coming out, I'm thinking, end of this month. That's with Kanan when he was a kid. And they're going to have Power Book 4. Tommy should be coming out probably spring of 25. That'll probably be the last one. And I think they're working on another one, too. The beginning. We have Ghost and Tommy as kids and how they got into the game. I think they're doing another one. That'd be dope. But I digress. Put Sports Zone Chicago right there on your television. You watch it on the big screen because hell, we're on the big screen, right, Mickey now. Now you can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, it's me personally. You want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. Listen, we have a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or our mobile app, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come here it'll come in the thread, screen, We'll incorporate it into the show, and that, my peoples, is what makes this the best Chicago morning sports talk show around, and that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared or here. I like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it, just bring it. Let's check out the chat because it is jumping already in the morning. Lavette Lee checking in early. Good morning, Mama. How are you? Thank you for tuning in. It says happy hump day, y'all. Mr. Shode is in the house, top of the morning. Yes. Rashawn Walls in the house says happy hump day, sports owners, and I'm not happy last night for Trump being president again. Well, not a lot of people are. Good morning. My man Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. My man Junior's in the house. Man, what's up? How you doing, Papa? Good to see you checking in. I appreciate it. James Ford checking in. James Ford's in the house. Thank you, Papa. I appreciate it. Checking in. Kevin Scott is in the house. Says, good morning, sports owners. Bear down. Bear down. Let's see what you're talking about. Okay. Oh, we got. See, this is how educated a lot of our peoples are. Mr. Shorty is referring some people in the chat to a book called The Last President by Lockwood Ingersoll, written in 1898. So Shorty now believes in time travel. It tipped to B square. From the movie Back to the Future. You know what? This is a good cup of tea. Man, this is a good cup of tea. But I digress. Listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I can tell you. But listen, we got a great show for you. 10 o'clock at the top of the hour. Our man, hands in them, Glynn Morgan, is going to join us. Talking all things Bears. There's a lot going on. Man, Caleb Williams underperforming. Caleb Williams missing a lot of things. Our generational quarterback is not doing generational things. All the excuses people are going to make up for him that are good for him, but not good for the previous quarterback. In my opinion, open receiver is an open receiver. We're also going to talk about DJ Moore. DJ Moore had a situation where he steps off the field in the middle of the game. Steps off the field. So here you go. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Eberflus. Has he lost the locker room? Well, if you looked at the thumbnail, you know my opinion. You know where I stand on that. If you looked at the thumbnail, you know what I'm thinking. You know what I'm thinking if you saw the thumbnail for today's show. If you didn't see the thumbnail, there it is. That should tell you where I stand. Like anyone who has a MAGA hat or flag, let you know where they stand. Okay? But we're not here to talk about politics. Yeah. We're not here to talk about politics. It was a long night. But we are here to talk about the Bears. So 10 o'clock, going to join us, and I'll tell you what, I'm excited. This conversation is a good one. It's going to be a good one. Yeah. But he says it without conviction. Yeah, there you go. That's what I need. We're good. So we got a lot to talk about. I'm fired up about it. We got Bulls. Bulls are in action next couple of days. Blackhawks are in action next couple of days. Man, who didn't turn their phone off over here? Oh, that was me. You're fired. We got Bulls to talk. We got Blackhawks to talk. And we got Bears to talk. So I'm fired up. Can't wait to get to it. So as our old uncle Hawk Harrelson used to say, sit back, relax, and strap it down. But let's get right to it. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
First top of the morning topic. Let's see. Which way do we go? Which way do we go? We'll start here, baby. The Bulls. Only the Bulls. Looks like the Chicago teams are going to be doing a little dance. The Bulls tonight are in the Big D, Dallas, Texas, for a date with the Dallas Mavericks. Tip-off tonight. It's at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Network, CHSN, or listen to it on their flagship station, 670 AM. All right. And I say that, well, let me, in a moment, I'll clarify as to why I say the Bulls and the Hawks are doing a little. Because tonight the Bulls are in Dallas. What is it? American Airlines Arena, United Arena, something like that. Remember when they used to play in Reunion Arena? That was the place, baby. That was the place down in Dallas, Reunion Arena. Oh man. And for all you wrestling fans, remember in Dallas, there used to be the small little studio where they had wrestling, world-class championship wrestling. Man, to have gone there, to have watched a wrestling match at the Sportatorium, that would have been awesome. It's no longer there. It's demolished. But that was a spot for wrestling. So all you people who grew up with wrestling fans in the late 80s and early 90s, you know about the Von Erichs. You saw the movie The Claw. Yeah. But I digress. Next top of the morning topic, the Bulls. We're staying with the Bulls. Only the Bulls. The Bulls tomorrow, they return home to the United Center. The Madhouse on Madison will be rocking as they host the Minnesota Timberwolves. Tip-off tomorrow is at 7 p.m. Central Time. And you can catch that game on Chicago Sports Network Plus, or also listen to it on their flagship station, 670 AM, The Score. Now, moving on to the next top of the morning topic, the Blackhawks, baby. Here come the Hawks, the mighty Blackhawks. Here come the Hawks. Tonight, the Blackhawks host the Detroit Red Wings. Red Wings, sorry. At the United Center, return of Patrick Kane again. Stopping grounds. Puck drop is at 7 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on TNT or True TV, or you can listen to it on their flagship station, 7:20 a.m. Patrick Kane returns. Now, this is not his first return to the United Center, so it doesn't have as much anticipation or hype around it. But anytime you get to see one of those guys, him or Taze, I don't think Taze is playing anymore. I don't think any of those guys are playing anymore. Duncan Keith is gone, is retired. Brent Seabrook, I don't think he's playing anymore. Obviously, Corey Crawford is not playing. Taze, Kane, Sharpie, he's retired. I mean, you might have someone like Connor Murphy, but Connor Murphy was young. He was young. He wasn't a vital championship run. He was young. He might even have got drafted at 15. I'm not sure. I think he might have been after 15. So there's really nobody left from that era. Still in the NHL, I don't believe. Was Teravinen on one of those teams? I want to say yes. Anyway, I digress. Let's keep with the Hawks. The next top of the morning topics. This, my people, is why I say that our teams, the Chicago teams, are doing a dance. Tomorrow, the Blackhawks travel to Dallas after the Bulls are there tonight. The Blackhawks travel to Dallas to face the Stars. Puck drop is at 7 o'clock Central. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 7:20 a.m. So it's crazy. So they had, what's really funny, the United Centers get a lot of use, baby. A lot of use. And this is exactly what the Bears want when they get their new stadium. So last week, who was there? That I wanted to go see. Oh, goodness. Usher. So Usher was there Tuesday? Or he was there Wednesday? Anyway, he was there, let's say Wednesday. No, the 31st, Halloween. So that's Thursday. So he was there Tuesday and Thursday. So Usher was there Tuesday. They had to build a set, build a stage for him, because his stage isn't just at one end of the arena. His stage went into the arena, like where the hockey rink is, because he was doing his roller skating thing. So to get the stage built for Tuesday's show, okay, after the game was over, they had to dismantle the stage and get ready for the Bulls game. After the Bulls game, they had to dismantle it and get the stage up ready for Usher, who was there on Thursday, on Halloween night. Dude, that's crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. But this, I'm telling you, this is what the Bears are looking for. They want to have concerts and all types of stuff. And that would be so dope. So dope. Man, people are going in. Junior said, I will say that new look Eberflus had Hard Knocks making him into Hollywood. He's another shoe salesman. Yeah, he started a lot more coach speak, which is frustrating to people. A lot more coach speak, and that's Shorty said, I wish I had your mindset, Junior. I'm devastated. Because Junior also said, he said, I came into the Bears season with a wait and see attitude. I just knew the wheels were going to fall off. And then Shorty said, I wish I had your mindset. I'm devastated. Ant Mouse checking in. Good morning, Papa. He says, good morning. Bear down, Shawn. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Ant Mouse has probably one of the best takes so far. Hashtag bring back the honey bears. You're damn right. Bring them back, baby. Bring back the honey bears. So, yeah. So, this is the Blackhawks. Exciting team. It's not a good team. It's like just like the Bulls. But as I was saying before, this is what the Bears want. Whenever they get whatever stadium they have, this is what they want. He says, anytime a team gets a jersey update or a new stadium, they win the Super Bowls. Bears need to update their jerseys. And the Honey Bears. Well, you know they're not updating. Maybe get another alternate jersey, but they're not going to update it like the Denver Broncos did back in the 90s. Detroit Lions have done last few years. Remember, Tampa Bay did it from the creamsicle colors to the more intimidating colors, or less intimidating colors, should I say, they're not going to mess with it. Remember, you're dealing with a franchise that feels entitled. They are the charter franchise of the NFL, so therefore they feel they can do what they want. This is part of the problem. This is part of the Mickey Ficky problem up there at Hallis Hall. Why do you think they haven't had a passer for over 400 years? Because they think running the ball in defense can win everything. Well, okay, if that's your philosophy, fine, but then make sure you do everything that fits that philosophy. Don't go half-ass. So it's their entitlements that they have. See, my question with them is this: like, who's gone to business school? Who's gone to school with a degree or a master's in marketing? Sales. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this team, like, none of the Hallises, and don't even let me not even get into how the Caskies got it. They screwed the Hallises out of this, out of ownership of this team. So, yeah, let's not even talk about that. But nobody in the Hallis side or the McCaskey side ever thought of getting into football. Nobody. Coach, player, front office. They just kind of got their jobs because their mom had owned the team. But there's nobody anywhere else throughout the football landscape where you hear the name Hallis. Because trust me, you know the name Hallis. There's certain names that you hear and you would know. Like Rooney's or Rockefellers or Lombardi. You hear those names, you obviously understand who they're associated with. The Carnegies. But nobody in the family, either side. When we hear, who's the guy, Mike Lombardi all the time on the radio, trashing the time. They've probably been, okay, here's the GM. So these people literally took what their dad, their great-grandfather, grandfather, great-grandfather gave them, and they're running it into the ground. Now, they're making money, don't get me wrong. So, I mean, if you look at it from that perspective, yeah, they're fine. But is it the whole thing? So my question then is it to win or just to make money? Because if you want to win, you've done a pretty shitty job. You've done a really, really bad job of winning. Getting people in positions to make this organization a respectable one like it was for so long. One of the most, if not the most respected organization in football. They have fallen far from that. Far from it. The Rooneys, the Maras, that's the New York Giants. The Rooneys are the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay. We are nowhere near one of the elite franchises anymore. Oh, snap. Off the Dub is back. What's up, Papa? How you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in. Mr. Shorty said the Broncos just updated again. Aunt Ma said, do we have stats on what the Bears' record is after the Honey Bears left? I think they left after the 84 season. It was either after the 84-85 season. I don't remember them there when I was an usher in 87. 87, 88. 87, 88. I don't remember them there. Was man, King Booker World checking in. What's up, Papa? Good morning. Salute, chat, and Shawn. I will check it out, Junior. I will check it out. Man, the Plankster is in the house. Good morning, sports owners. He says, I'm on vacation this week. Bear down. Plankster. Plankster. Thank you for tuning in, Papa. I appreciate it. Everyone exchanging pleasantries in the chat. And the last top of the morning topic before we go to break, the Bears. The Bears get back to work today at Hallis Hall. They host the Patriots on Sunday in the first of 3 straight games on the lakefront. Kickoff Sunday is at noon Central Time. You can catch that game on Fox 32 here locally, or you can listen to it on their flagship station, ESPN 1000. That's 1000 AM. Man, there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of talk. A lot, baby. It is. I talked about the different angles. Because we'll stick with the Bears. The next top of the morning topic, DJ Moore is getting heat. All right. We didn't notice this. I know Nicholas Moriano from CHGO was watched where he had a clip of DJ Moore walk field in the middle of a play. And it's gotten more. It's gained a lot of traction for obvious reasons. And you usually hear from DJ Moore on Wednesday. So we're going to see if he comes to the podium today. And see, the Bears media group, believe me, I'm in that group for, and a lot of times, I mean, they're like piranhas. They're like sharks. When they sell blood, they go after it. The types of questions they ask are different. When they asked him, okay, do you think you should have even been in there? Like, what, you're putting him on the spot. Because if he says no, I don't think I should have been in there. Well, now you're going against the coach. And when you say, yeah, it was fine, they know you're lying. I mean, you talk about loaded questions. And I think Caleb handled it very, very, very well. But there's no way to deny what was intimate, what they're trying to do. They're trying to put pressure on Flus. Bad. I believe me, he doesn't need any help looking bad. That's for darn sure. Yeah, DJ Moore's gotten, he's the one thing I do like about DJ Moore is that he's pretty transparent. Okay. We'll talk about it a little more, but listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, all right, we'll talk a little Bulls, talk a little Hawks, and finish up the next half hour with some Bears talk and lead that into Glynn Morgan. Unless you guys want to finish this Bears conversation and then finish the next segment with Bulls and Hawks, let me know. Put it in the chat in the thread, and I will make the decision. Break. All right. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Many will hear the calling. Few will earn the title. United States Marine. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Chi. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators, a passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds, help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
Do you sense you're okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yep.
You feel like maybe you shouldn't have been in the game at that point, down 3-0?
It's not my decision. You fight to the end of the game. If you're in the game, if not, coach makes a decision like that. You have to deal with it and figure out the next steps. But not my decision.
Do you think you bounce back from a hectic week
last week?
Yeah, and play better today, just as a team.
I think early on in the week. I think we could have done better overall of bouncing back after that. I know it's a tough loss. It's tough regardless of who you are in the facility. If you're out there making plays or if you're making decisions up top.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the Chicago Bears. That was our QB. And he said something that was quite telling. He said something that was quite telling in that clip. He says he could have done a better job in the beginning of the week of getting over that loss. To me, I think he might be fed up with Eberflus as well. I think that was a direct shot at the coach. Because who's supposed to get these players through that terrible loss? Who's supposed to get them through it? That's the coach. That's the coaching staff. You got to come in, get them refocused. Okay. But my question is this, so he had beginning of the week, you have film on Monday. This is why I think it's a shot at Eberflus, because you have film on Monday. What more could he do in film to kind of get you to forget it? Now, there are some things, remember I said, you say, hey, look, we're moving on. We don't answer any questions about last week. Okay, we move on, just like the Patriots used to do back in the day. Bill Belichick, and people got mad at him. Remember, and here's where the media become jerks. They didn't like when he said, we're on to Cincinnati, we're on to Pittsburgh, we're on to Miami, we're on to next week. The media hated that, but what was he doing? He was leading by example. We're done talking about yesterday or 2 days ago. We're done. Whatever happened, happened. We dealt with it in film. It's over with. We're moving on. And fans hated it. But what does that do? That set the tone. And how good were the Patriots for 20 freaking years? 9 Super Bowl appearances. 9 in 20 years. That's like every other year for Brady. Every other year you're going to the Super Bowl. He won 6 there. He lost 2 to the Giants. Then he lost. That's 8. And then he lost one to the. Was it the Bucks that he beat? That he lost to? Who's the other NFC team that he lost to? Was it Seattle? Seattle. No, Seattle beat it. Goodness, who's the other team? If you could remember, let me know who that is. The other NFC team that they lost to in the Super Bowl. All right, they won 6. The Eagles. Thank you. Yes, Plank. Thank you very much. The Eagles. Okay. So this is where I think he needs to grow as a head coach. Like, you have to learn the one thing that you need to always be able to do. You need to be able to learn from everybody you come in contact with, especially when you're at the highest level. Okay? When you're dealing with contemporaries, okay? You may not like your contemporaries. They may be adversaries. They may be colleagues. It does anything in between. What we don't need to do is we don't need to dislike them. We need to look and see what works for them. Learn something from them, because they're my contemporaries or my colleagues for a reason. How do they handle certain situations? Go look at Andy Reid. How does he handle a situation? Go look at Bill Belichick. How does he handle a situation? Go look at Mike Tomlin. How does he handle a situation? Look at coaches who we say are the cream of the crop here in the NFL. How do they handle situations? And let me adjust my response or my react to something like that. Because he's not a good. He gets hemmed up a lot. He gets hemmed up a lot with the questions. I mean, and the media is not. It's the 3rd largest market in the country. They're not kind. They're not kind. When they like you, they'll make up excuses, as they have for the quarterback. When they don't like you, they will pile on and pile on and pile on. The tone changes. The types of questions change. I've seen it. King Booker World says, problem is we have a favorite flavor head coach when we needed Chuck D. Plank says, please look and mimic Mike Tomlin. Yes. King Booker World says, he also says he has a direct line to Nick Saban. Damn it, use it. That's a great call. That's a great call, King Booker World. That's a great call. Look and see how they handle situations like that. You know, I think what it seems like is that he is trying to please everybody, media included. You have to understand the media is not your friend. You can use them to your benefit, but the media is not your friend. They are not your friend. Believe you me. But you can manipulate them so it's easier to get along with. That's a great call, King Booker World. Shorty says LMFAO, Booker. But we'll talk a little here. Let's talk a little. We'll switch gears a little bit. We'll talk a little more Bears as we get closer to the hour. In about 10 minutes. We'll finish up this segment with Bears talk. We're going to talk Bulls. All right. One of the things I like, and the Bulls are playing tonight, and one of the things I like is, I've mentioned it already, is this young group. They are energetic. Still green a little bit, some of them. But that youthful enthusiasm and youthful energy, those young legs, you can't teach that. The 3-4. So now they're back under 500 after that loss. That's what we didn't do, Steve. We'll get the Bulls thing from Monday. Fudge. Bulls lost on Monday to the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz at that point were winless. Were winless, and they came back. They came to Chicago, put up 133 points. That is the most points that the Utah Jazz has ever put up against the Chicago Bulls in the history of them playing. They were out-hustled. They were outshot. And it's just frustrating. You're at home. The one thing that the Bulls have to have an improvement in is defending their home court. So when people come here, they're like, oh, loss. Or that's going to be a tough game if we get here with a win. There's no fear of coming into the United Center anymore. King Booker World says, I can't figure this team out. You beat Giannis and crew and lose to Utah. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. I don't know if they overlooked them, because believe me, you are in no position to overlook anybody, Chicago Bulls. No position. You hit 500 the other day before the game last on Monday. That was the first time you hit 500 in over about a year. You lost opening day this year. I think you lost an opening day last year as well. Like, come on, man. So that falls on Billy, but also there's a lot of veterans on. I know I said there's a lot of youngsters, but there's enough veterans on this team where you can't overlook anybody. Zach, dude, you've been in the league 10 years now. Vooch, same thing. Kobe White, hell, is your fourth year, fifth year? You're not a rookie anymore. You know how it goes. Patrick Williams, you're in your fourth year, fifth year. We're still waiting for you to get to become the player that you can be, that we all know you can be, that we've seen flashes of. We just need a more consistent version of that. Josh Giddey, you're in the last year of your contract, the third year, fourth year. You're looking for an extension. So, yeah, we have players on here that are not rookies. They're not youngsters. You've been around the block. And for them to come out flat, now I get it. Zach was out. Who else? Who else was out? But there's still more than enough people to beat this Utah Jazz team. And that's the situation. That's the issue. King Booker World. Why do I dislike every Chicago team's head coach? Well, the White Sox got a new one. Do you dislike him already too? Or do you got to give that another week? It's maddening to see them play against, but that's coaching, but that's also falls on the veterans. He's already mad at Will Venable. Will Venable just got here like 5 minutes ago. You don't even know where the staff bathroom is, bro. Oh, man. But that's the thing, that the consistency part. Like who, and this is where you talk about leadership. Here, who's the leader? Who's going to step up and say, and going to be step up? I don't know if Zach, they say it's Zach's team because he has the biggest contract, but is he the most player on this team? I don't know. You know, your best player needs to be the most respected. Or in the top 2. Okay, it's got to be in the top 2. And that goes for any sport. You know, you look at the great teams and they'll all have a guy you could say that is their leader. And oftentimes it's their best player. I don't know if Zach's their leader. I know he's taking a leadership role, but how much respect do people have for him? How much respect do his teammates have for him? Not saying can you play with him, not saying do you like him. I'm saying respect. When he talks, everybody listens. To me, I don't see him as that leader type. Call me crazy. I've been around a lot of good leaders, been around a lot of locker rooms. Seen and dealt with tons and thousands, tens of thousands of people in my life. Maybe even hundreds of thousands, who knows? If you start to see qualities of people, before they even finish the season. You're able to dissect people, understand people for who they are. King Booker World says, Shawn, Chicago did this to me, Shawn. I hate his face already. I hear you, bro. I hear you. I hear you. It's tough because he's the face of the White Sox. Unless it's a face that we knew and was well respected, a lot of people are going to feel the same way as you do. You know, and we knew exactly what was going to happen over there, Booker World. We knew they weren't going to get Joe Girardi. They weren't going to go get a veteran manager because you can't control them. That's how you did it, which is surprising that the Bulls did it. Now, is Billy more easily controlled than we thought? I don't know. But it's frustrating, man. It's really frustrating. See this Bulls team, which has tons of talent. A lot of talent. It needs to be developed. The talent needs to be developed. Now, can you develop it? Well, Kobe White has. Io has. Damn it, P. Will. What the fudge? Although I will say this. King Booker World, if we're going to give him criticism, we got to give him credit. P. Will has looked a lot more active and a lot more aggressive this year. Am I lying? And I know we're going to say, yeah, but it's only for a couple games. But how many times have we seen it for a 4, 5, 6 game stretch? We really haven't. But you got to admit, he's looked a lot more aggressive this year. A lot more. I want him to get more aggressive, but Rome wasn't built in a day. I want P. Will to be able to go to the cup with authority. Like, you watch his skill set. And he has everything you need. He's a big guy, got a wide, broad shoulders. He came in with them broad shoulders. Well, he can post you up. He can take you off the dribble. His three's getting a little better. He can lock you up on defense. He'll go up and under. He can run in transition. This guy can move. There's nothing he can't do. I'm not saying he's great at everything, but there's nothing he can't do. He can post you up. He'll go up, under. He'll hit a fadeaway jumper. He'll give you a pocket pass to Vooch coming down the lane. Hit you with a three. He'll hit you with a shot from the elbow. He has every tool you need. Now act like you're freaking good. I hope the Bulls have gotten him a sports psychologist. He needs a shrink. It's what he needs. He needs a shrink. So let him know, dude, you are talented. You are super talented. Go out there and play like it. There's an attitude. It's an attitude that he's got to have, and I don't know if you can create it at this stage of the game. You know, we've all played, we've all been the best person. Yeah, P. Will 6'8", 6'9", 240. That's a big boy. We've all played where we're the best guy, whether we're playing with our family or friends or organized ball. It doesn't matter, baseball, football, basketball, hockey, soccer, track, whatever. And you knew you were the best player. What kind of attitude did you have? What kind of confidence did you have? P. Will needs to get that confidence. He puts in the work in the offseason. We see the videos, but it's up here for him. And if he has a great year, if he's able to unlock that potential, that attitude that I am the best on this floor attitude, man, this Bulls team they're gonna bypass the play-in. They're gonna be right to the playoffs. But he needs to shrink. They need someone to unlock it, unleash it. Because there are times we've seen him unleash it. We're like, damn, where's that? Who is that in Patrick Williams' body? And how long can he stay? P. Will, to me, is the key to this Bulls team. Jay Grizz checking in. What's up, Papa? I says, can P. Will block an NFL defensive end for the Bears, maybe? Hey, he's got long enough arms, big enough frame, 6'8", 6'9". Got good footwork. But man, this is the problem with athletes, with certain athletes. Some just don't believe in their talent. Some don't believe that they're the best. Some don't believe that they are dominant. And he's one of them. King Booker World's on fire. It's like, he needs that Devo talk. Stop being a bitch and come on. But that's what DeMar and Zach were telling him for the last 3 years. 4 years, they've been telling him that. Shoot the ball. Take it to the hole. Come on, man. His success will determine the Bulls' success this year. So we got guards. We got Kobe, who stepped into his own. I love the way he's developed. Man, he'll nail a three in your eye from 2 steps across half court. His three-point game is getting better. There's a lot of good stuff with this Bulls team, but to me, the key is P. Will. If you become a force, P. Will can be everything Lauri Markkanen is. You know, the guy that we drafted and didn't develop? Yeah, that guy. Who turned into an all-star? Yeah, that guy. P. Will could do all of that. But it's up here for him. And that's the problem. Get a shrink at something, man. Affirmations. I don't know what it is, but his success will determine the Bulls' success this year. Guarantee it. Now, have you developed them? And as I said, these first 7 games, they're 3-4 right now. I've seen a lot more and a lot more aggressive Patrick Williams, and I like it. But I want to see more. At least give me this for another couple more games. I need you to amp it up, turn up the intensity a little bit. I'll be a lot happier. I want to see you get in people's face. I want to see you challenge people. I want to see you go at people. Man, this is an alpha sport. Man, you're the best of the best. Don't back down. Remember, we talked about him deferring to Zach and DeMar the last few years. Like, dude, if you're a stud, you don't defer to anybody. They got to tell you, hey, rookie, not yet. Like Kobe. Remember, when Kobe came in, they're like, man, this rookie's taking all the shots. Why? Because Kobe felt he was the best on the court. He wasn't, but he felt like it. Patrick Will, you're one of the best people on the court when you're out there. Play like it. Believe it. Yeah. Listen, we got to take a quick break. I didn't even get to lead in with Bull segment, a Bears segment. But that's all right, because my guy is coming up, and we're going to talk a lot of Bears. And I'm fired up about it. Fired up about this stuff. So don't go anywhere, folks. Glynn Morgan on the other side of the break. So keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Brian Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left, and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down, because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
If DJ Moore doesn't want to be there and he doesn't like the quarterback, who's going first? And I was pro Fields. I was the one that was like, keep Fields. But if this is what we're doing, and I felt like maybe DJ Moore was pro Fields, like reading between the lines last year, right? Then here's the fucking door, dude. Highest inaccurate target rates for players with 25-plus targets. Adunze's number 6. Keenan Allen's number 8. DJ Moore's number 10. You're not even getting missed the most out of the 3 of y'all. How are you the one walking off the field? Seriously, it's time for a real conversation. Maybe he's frustrated. I get it, but can't even imagine walking off the field. Hey, no problem. Seriously, I'm not saying he's a bad guy for not wanting to be there. Like, guys don't want to be places. But you know, the whole, if you don't like it here, leave. You can get something from him. I'm just throwing it out there.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. That clip courtesy of the Green Light with Chris Long, former NFL player Chris Long, kind of going in on DJ Moore as he should. All right, you guys know I'm a DJ guy. Hell, I just bought his jersey. Damn it. But you're going to take it to task because you don't do that. And you can tell he's frustrated. But that's not how it go. That's not how you go about things. Now when you just got paid big time bank, dude. You're the highest paid Chicago biggest contract ever. Come on, man. You can't do that. I get it, you're frustrated. I get it, he missed you. Man, we showed it to you, and I'll show it to you again. I'd be freaking pissed off, too. You just got paid X amount of money. Clay Harbor posted this one. Look at this. He misses. He gets missed. He's wide open. Nobody around him. He can skip. Remember, you used to go see the girls skip, or you want to skip into the end zone.
You can fly.
Running right across the goal line at the 3-yard line. Nobody within 5 yards of him. Yeah, I'd be frustrated. But you don't do that, man. We're going to talk to my next guest. I'm fired up. My next guest, good friend of the program. Love talking football with this guy. Man, he knows his shit, and that's why I love having people like him on. People who know their shit. All right? Not just fans, not just, well, this is what I see. This is what man, his perspective is excellent, and I love it. You know, he's a former draft analyst at NBCSChicago. You can find him on Twitter at True Glynn Morgan. Guys, it's welcome back to Shawn and Maya, Glynn Morgan. Glynn, what's up, Papa? How are you?
Hey, we're talking college playoffs, right?
Yeah.
College playoffs? Yeah.
Yeah. Miami squeaked out the last couple games, but they're all right.
My Volunteers, right? We're talking about Tennessee going forward, taking out Alabama and Florida the same year, looking forward to taking down Georgia.
Those black unis are fire.
Yeah, they've been around for a bit. I like the Smoky Grays too. We got a little something going on there in Knoxville.
I see. Who's your sponsor? Are you Reebok or Adidas?
I think they're Adidas. I think it's Adidas.
I think it might be, because they used to be a Nike school, but they haven't been a Nike school for a long time.
Right.
Yeah, dude, they got some. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. Gotta win. You got to win when you got those unis on, though.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Adidas stepped their game up. I like it. Let's talk about our boys, man. Give me your thoughts. All right.
I like what we were talking about earlier. I was smiling. I'm happy.
What about your alma mater? Huh?
Oh man. As I say this, everything you say after but, it didn't really matter. It's what you say after but that really matters. So as I say this, I try not to be the kind of person who says I told you so kind of deal. So I don't come with that kind of spirit. It's more of a no, because I'm trying, as much as it may seem as though I may be negative when it comes to Chicago Bears. I'm not. I'm being pragmatic. I'm being objective as I possibly can be. And sometimes you don't like to hear that. The truth hurts sometimes. Mm-hmm. And what I'm saying is, I'm not coming with the spirit of I told you so. I'm coming with the spirit of please pay attention to what's going on. That's pretty much where I've come with. And I was talking to somebody not too long ago, and I was like, NFL football has been around about 3-4 years now, give or take, between 100 and 105 years. And I've watched half a century of football, which means I'm a little bit older than half a century, but I've watched a half a century of football. It doesn't mean that I know more than anybody else. What I'm saying is I've seen this show. I've seen this movie play out a lot of times. I've seen it in the NFL, I've seen it with other teams. And the biggest issue I've had going back to when it became the Caleb Justin thing, and I'm not even talking about Justin, because the issue, the conversation I had with Carm at NBC Sports Chicago, I clearly identify. I said it's not about Caleb, it's not about Justin, it's about the Chicago Bears as a collective. Having that first pick, you have an opportunity to do something. It's risky. I get it. It's not what everyone's saying you should do. But we have an opportunity to reset your organization completely and trade down and get enough draft capital to really put yourself in a situation for the next several years where you can be sustainable. And the whole point of it is you don't have to draft a superstar caliber or quote unquote generational or put all of that on a young man coming into the league. You don't have to do that to have success. There's too many examples in NFL of teams winning because the team, the roster, the coaching staff, all of that is in place. Then you have your quarter. You got that. Before you put somebody in a house, before you put somebody to captain that ship, you build the ship from the ground up. And we did not do that. We had that opportunity. We didn't do that. And right now we're looking at the lack of depth on the offensive line, which was an issue before the season began. Anybody who was objective, who was being realistic, said offensive line is a bit of a concern, and maybe the defensive line a bit too, in terms of depth on the defensive line and maybe a key position here or there, but mainly depth. On the offense, it was depth and talent. And what is playing out right now? And the issue I said was, if you're going to find yourself in a situation where you might be repeating, you're that hamster or that groundhog on the wheel, or you're the groundhog on a hamster wheel going around in circles because you're doing the same damn thing you did before. You're going to repeat the same mistakes. And damn it, if we're not repeating the same mistakes. Eberflus is gone. I don't care how much you like him, not you, but anybody.
You mean like this?
Yes, exactly. And the crazy thing is, of this triumvirate you're showing here, the top row had the best success because that guy went with 12-4 and went to the playoffs.
Yep.
Hosting a playoff game.
And they said the same thing that you're saying. They, the same, insanity. All right. Mr. Trubisky, 1 year with Fox, goes to Nagy. Justin Fields, 1 year with Nagy, goes to Eberflus. Caleb Williams, 1 year with Eberflus, goes to, hopefully, from our lips to God's ears, Ben Johnson. OG Ben Johnson.
Well, maybe. And some people are going to say, Shawn, you should have replaced him and got an offensive guy because you drafted a quarterback. Really? You don't need to have an offensive guy be the head coach. Clearly you don't, because all you got to do is look east and look at what's happening in Washington. That's what pisses me off the most. That is a completely new organization from the top to the bottom, from the rooter to the tutor, as they would say. You have a new owner. You have a new coaching staff. You have a franchise caliber quarterback, clearly. You have a lot of players that weren't even on the team last year. And what's more important now that you see is that you're hearing about players, trade deadline's gone now, but players are like, hey, yo, what can you do? Talk to the agents. What can you do to get me over to Chocolate City? Because again, demographics, don't kid yourself, play a part of it. The league is predominantly African-American.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an opportunity to go to a city that reflects your demographic, not just for you, but a lot of these are men with families. Colloquially, what is the nickname for DC? You know what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chocolate City.
Chocolate City.
The Bears were in the same situation going into the season, actually above where Washington was. Chicago is a wonderful, beautiful city to live in. Aside from some of the national stuff that says, guns going off a mile a minute, you live here, that's not the case. Okay. Certain areas.
Might have Navy Pier shooting yesterday, but don't worry about that.
I'm saying it's a major city, so you have that.
I hear you.
Certain spaces, but it's not like every time you walk out the door, you're ducking. That's the perception. It's like, no, you live here, you understand. It's a major city. You have these same issues in any metropolitan city. Okay, especially a major metropolitan city. But Chicago, for all intents and purposes, particularly if you got the money, you're living in situations where that stuff doesn't really affect you on a day-to-day basis, so to speak. And as a professional athlete, you come to Chicago, you just got to be good and you're going to be loved. You're great, you're going to be immortalized. You're better than that, you're canonized.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean seriously. And the marketing opportunities here are fantastic. But guess what? The nation's capital, it's a top 10 city in terms of, demographic, in terms of media opportunities and all that kind of stuff. And so now Washington is going to shoot right past. They've already shot past Chicago.
Yep.
Do not let the Bears lose, or do not let Caleb Williams suffer another indignity in losing to the other quarterback that was drafted after them. Because if that were to happen, you're going to start hearing people saying, why the hell didn't we trade down? Because look, Drake May doesn't look bad.
Mm-mm.
Doesn't look bad. He's
got a shit roster to throw to.
Right. But that's why he doesn't look bad.
And he looks not bad with a shit roster.
Exactly.
Imagine if he had a decent roster.
Exactly.
How could he look?
Which is going to happen going down the line. You just know that's going to happen going down the line. You look at the stark numbers between Jaden Daniels. Look, Jaden Daniels out Heisman Caleb 2 weeks ago. He really did. And he's continuing on. He out Heisman our Heisman. And you look at the situation, he's played 9 games. Do you realize he has been sacked less times than Caleb has? He's been sacked 17 times. I think Caleb's been sacked 29 times. Caleb, in 8 games, has thrown more passes than Jaden has, with a 10% difference in completion percentage. Caleb's at 61%, which is, as a rookie, I'm not tripping. Okay, struggle. Jaden's at 71%. 9 touchdown passes. They both have 9 touchdown passes. Okay. One guy has 2 interceptions. The other guy has 5. Okay. Rookies. Okay. One guy has 459 yards rushing, and 4 touchdowns. The other guy has no touchdowns rushing and around 200 yards rushing.
Yep.
You're going to find yourself in a situation. And what did we see last week? And this is the other point I made. You get Caleb here, you don't have anything around him. You run the risk of him getting injured. He tweaked his ankle. It could have been worse, as much as he was getting sacked and running around for his life. Imagine if he has a Joe Burrow situation where his knee gets, heaven forbid, I'm not trying to call it out there. I don't want that to happen. I have nothing against Caleb. I'm not pissed at all. You know what I'm saying? He's a rookie. I get it. And he's shown that he's got acumen and talent. You showed him missing DJ. That's going to happen from time to time. I'm just saying you run the risk of messing things up, and it didn't have to be the case because you could have put a lot more around in this organization, whether it was Caleb or not. And if you just traded to Washington, if you just go back before everything that we know now, let's say they didn't exist, there's no way that Washington would not have been interested in Caleb. There's no way. If you asked for something reasonable, there's no way they would not have been interested because that's his hometown. And there's no way Caleb would
jersey sales, asses in seats, PSL, all that stuff. Makes
all
sense.
That stuff.
Like D Rose, the D Rose effect, basically. Hometown,
exactly.
Hometown kid going home.
And there's no reason why Caleb and his contingent, not contingent, but his group of people wouldn't have been okay with that, because Chicago has a reputation of being a place where quarterbacks and wide receivers, go to Siberia, go to die, so to speak.
And if if those rumors were true, man, he's kicking himself in the ass. And his dad's saying, "Didn't I tell you? See what I told you?" If those things were true, because remember, there's a lot of stuff coming out saying Caleb didn't want to come here, his dad didn't want him to come here. Those are rumors. We didn't know. Well, maybe they were true and they put out that fire. Okay. But if those rumors were true, man, his dad and his people got to be pissed now, because they thought they had a good offensive coordinator in Shane Waldron. And for 3 games, he was good. So, I mean, I'm not ready to kick Shane Waldron out yet, because you had a nice situation. So 1 bad game, I'm not ready to say, "Oh my God, you're done." But I need to see some improvement this week. And man, oh man, oh man, if we see improvement next week, then I think all will be right if we have a really good game against the Packers. We got the lowly Patriots to deal with first, though.
This is the face I'm giving you right now, because that was supposed to be the last 2 games.
It was, okay. Yes. He's supposed to go ham. But here's the thing with Shane, bro. And this is the thing that got me pissed. What I said last week, I said the Commanders. The Commanders suck in defense. They're 26th, 27th. They're in the bottom quarter of the league in passing. I said, don't come out passing. Don't come out passing. I said, what you want to do is you want to weaken that. So you come out, you establish the run. What are they going to have to do? They're going to have to bring somebody else in the box. So when they bring somebody, that's going to further weaken one of the weakest secondaries in the National Football League, and now you can kill them. But no, they want to go have Caleb throw 75 times. Like, no, that's not how you do it. I was pissed, Glenn. I was pissed. Like, stop throwing a God-blessed ball. Take it out of his hands.
Again, and I'm not going to sit here, and I know I got Shorty on there saying, he's about to jump off the cliff right now, and the rocks are waving. And I'm not trying to say all is doom and gloom. This is the frustration, and part of it is obviously me being a Chicagoan and a fan, clearly, but a lot of it too is just, some of it's just common sense. Like, I don't understand where common sense clearly isn't common. It really isn't, and I don't understand how an organization can continue to make so obviously the same mistakes time and time again. On my podcast, one of my partners, Brandon Williams, he's smoking, Easy Smoking the GM. He's the smoke part of our trio. And he said he had it figured out. He said, I'll explain to you why it doesn't matter what offensive coordinator we have come here or GM, why they keep doing the same thing. There's a universal playbook that is given to them. They said, if you come here, you have to go by this playbook. Same thing with the GM. This is what you have to do. You have to go by these set of rules. If you can't abide by that, you can't play here. And okay. Cliff Kingsbury probably was like, look, if I come here and this coach who's kind of on the hot seat, if he's let go, but my offense shows well, is there an opportunity for me maybe to be a head coach? I don't know if this happened, but I'm just speculating. Like, if that was part of the conversation, and they said, well, no, that's not how we do things here. Cliff's like, okay, thank you very much. I'm gonna go to Washington. deuces, because it makes more sense to go to Washington because you know Quinn's not going anywhere for at least 3 years. He's just not.
Yeah.
And he's been a proven coach as well. It's a much better situation going forward. And so now Cliff Kingsbury probably won't get a head coaching job this year. He probably doesn't need to leave, but 2 years from now, he can write his ticket. And that was so smart and savvy on this part. Meanwhile, Shane Waldron is going to be out there looking for a job because whoever comes in next is not going to want the dead weight of anybody, for the most part, off of this roster, off this coaching staff. It just isn't, and it would be smart.
At least the offensive side.
No, I hear what you're saying, but no, you pretty much almost have to say, for me to take this job, I need to bring in my people. Unless they already have a relationship with people who are already on the staff defensively and feel good about them. If I'm a person coming in as a new head coach, I have to have my own people because you're just keeping the same tape. You have to clean house at some point. And that was my whole point with the first round, having the first pick overall. You had a chance to really clean house in a lot of ways. And with all of this, the person, I haven't heard a lot of stuff. The person who I still point the finger at, and I know a lot of people are like, hey, in polls we trust. And look, he's done a lot right. And if he's done 70% right, there's 30% that's still a question mark. And 30% is still too high, if you ask me. If he's done 65%, whatever the case might be, he's not like he's 90-10. Yeah, the Carolina thing looks really good, but what have you really, outside of DJ Moore and getting Caleb, and that seems to be, it should be enough, but clearly it's not enough. There's no way you can look at Caleb's situation in DJ, and for DJ, you talked about him earlier, alluded to him, DJ, and I'm not condoning, him being, petulant for the most part. But if you're DJ Moore and your best career year, that guy's no longer here, and you're dirt digging for passes, you're being overlooked, overthrown, and underthrown, and you're almost halfway through the season, just about halfway through the season, you got to be asking yourself, what the F? And you just signed a contract, so there's a chance you're going to be here for a couple more years. Bears
history.
You got to be asking yourself, what the hell? And if he's frustrated, I can't even imagine what's going through Cole Kmet's head. What have I done for this team? I done long snap, I block, and you can't throw me one MFing pass again. This is like the second game. You're completely overlooking me. Like, what did I do to you?
Man,
and I'll say this. The last thing I'll say, and this is the part of me that's not say I told you so, but the part was like, why weren't y'all listening? Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Caleb Williams, all very talented quarterbacks, very talented at throwing the ball. But there's more to quarterbacking than throwing the ball. All very talented. But what do those three guys share in common?
Lincoln Riley.
What else are they sharing? Physically, what do they share in common?
Oh, they are running. They all can move.
They ain't tall, bro. They're not NFL tall as quarterbacks.
Yeah, true. Height. Yeah.
Did he miss DJ because maybe he didn't see him? Was he locked in? Probably locked in to where he was going to throw the ball. But damn, it's really hard to miss a guy running across your face. Unless you can't quite see it because somebody's in your face. Yeah. Jaden Daniels is how tall? 6'3",
6'3",
right?
4, somewhere. 6'3", I want to say.
Yeah. Drake May is how tall? About 6'4", 6'5".
Those 2 inches make a lot. That's what she said. But anyway. Morgan, Chicago Bears draft analyst, talking Bears football here with your guy, the SuperBack, Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Yeah, give me your thoughts on DJ. And continue with your thoughts on DJ because I'm frustrated too. You said a lot of things that I wanted you to say. You just big contract, best year he had, yards wise, touchdown wise, the man, and then you get this, and now since game one, I was like, he misses Justin. He misses Justin. But talk to me about him and him doing that. Because I'm pissy at him, dude. I'm pissy. Like, I get it. I know you're frustrated. I know you probably feel like you should be doing more. They should target you. They should force feed you the ball, a la Cutler to Marshall. I get it. But you don't just do that to your players, man. And that goes beyond DJ. That's not a DJ problem. That's an Eberflus problem. That's an Eberflus problem because you know what? Why do you feel comfortable doing that? Because I ask you this question. Would anyone do that on a Mike Tomlin team? An Andy Reid team? The Bill Belichick team. It's the culture.
Potentially, yes. But I would say we did see AB act a fool in the locker room of Mike Tomlin.
He did, and you know what? He was gone quick, fast, in a hurry.
Not quick, fast, in a hurry. They kept it for a little bit longer.
There
was other stuff he did before that. When
you have that type of talent, hey, when that girl's fine as hell, she's allowed to not call you for a day or two. Was she that fine?
Right. And to your point, DJ Moore, he's a good looking woman. And to your point right now, okay, because of his talent and productivity. Here's the thing: when you deal with wide receivers at an NFL level, you know, a lot of them perceptively have the primo donno type kind of thing, you know, where they're very
diva-ish,
Devo-like, so to speak, right? So you have those guys that are you know, vociferous about getting the ball. You know, hey, you know, T. Owens, hey, you know, they love to hate me. You know, on down to a guy like George Pickens, whatever the case might be. A lot of guys, give me the ball, feed me. You see the Chase, you know, you look at Jamar Chase, he gets impetuous too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's surrounded by other talented receivers. He has an attitude as well. They're very, I'll put it this way: receivers, certain primary receivers in the NFL who are premier wide receivers can be attitudinal at best. You know, not at best, but at a base level, they can be attitudinal on up. And then you have some that don't say much of anything, like DeAndre Hopkins. Doesn't say much. Is productive.
Mm-hmm.
But there are little things they let you know. They let you know their displeasure in non-verbal ways. Andre Johnson, who used to play for the Texans, a little bit like that too. Julio Jones, a little bit like that too. Guys that weren't verbal, and because you're not hearing it, you're thinking like, oh, they're cool. But if you pay attention, you look, they let you know. DJ falls in that mold a bit. He said things without saying things last year, early in the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not shocked because that's his personality. He's not going to say anything. His body language is going to tell you. It speaks volumes. It speaks more loudly than if he ever uttered a word. If he ever uttered a word, it speaks volumes. This isn't the first time he's felt this way or expressed it on the field. He did it in the Indianapolis game. I'm like, ooh, I said, man, he's about to lose this dude.
Yep.
He's getting frustrated. And because here's the thing: if you're DJ and you're the number one guy like you were last year, them feeding you the ball, there's no other receivers going to compete with you. You're going to get the value. You know that. It's not even a concern. Once you bring in Keenan Allen, it's like, okay, I got another guy who's a vet, who's older than me, deference, cool, we can share. Oh, and then you drafted a number one wide receiver? So now I got to share? Okay, I'm cool with it, but we got to all get fed, man. All right, I got paid. All right, I'm cool with it. How we going to do it? All right, young boy. Okay, in practice, these balls look nice. Okay. Get out on the field. First game. Second game. Okay, it's Texas. Third game. Really? This is what we're doing now? That's what his body language is saying. This is what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And then it got a little bit better because he was getting fed. And then, you know, he could be happy for the guys because, hey, if we're going to trade off each week, cool. Last 2 weeks has been like, and that's just what we see on the field. We don't know what practice is like.
Yeah.
And now you got a quarterback. And here's the difference between Justin and Caleb. And I'm not saying, I don't necessarily mean that you sacrifice one for the other, but what I'm saying is personality-wise, what you're going to be dealing with is a person in Justin who, through all the adversity that he faced when he was here, and Lord knows it was a shit ton of it, excuse my French, you never, ever heard or got whiff of him throwing anybody, especially the offensive line, which he very well could have, under the bus at all. There's a reason why almost to a man, if not to a man, everybody in the locker room wanted to keep him, was pumped for him, was going to play their damnedest for him.
Mm-hmm.
Because they felt like this dude, come hell or high water, he got my back, I got his back, you know, blah, blah, blah. With Caleb, he may not necessarily say it, but there's a certain imperiousness to his personality because he does demand so much from himself. He has manifested so much to get to this point. He is an imperfect perfectionist, which is very difficult to please internally, let alone the people around you. There's a thing where DJ shows his attitude, but not saying much. There are times with Caleb, there's an impetuousness to the times where he's facing adversity. Not saying it's a bad thing. We're human. I'm not knocking him for being human. I'm saying at some point, if you're getting all these guys are not saying anything, with their body language is telling you everything, and you don't have a leader, whether it's another player and or coach or coordinator or whatever, you're going to have what seems to be brewing in the Chicago locker room right now, and that's a lot of frustrated, unsaid stuff that at some point it starts trickling out in the media and becomes divisive, and then you lose a locker room and you have what looks like a burgeoning season loss. Doesn't mean it's the end for everything. It just means it's going to be a couple of years before we get to where we need to go to. Is that positive? A couple of years? Did I end on a good note?
Glenn, I agree with just about all the stuff you said. You know, my thought is that, you know, there's a couple things that happen. Like, you got to understand that there are epochal moments. All right, the moments that just shifted the course of your franchise or of a player's trajectory, or maybe just delay it, not necessarily shift it or just delay it.
Right.
I think the Washington game was one of those moments where he shifted the, you know, you had a quarterback who, if you look at him, he goes down at halftime. He's able to get a field goal, maybe even a touchdown, but predominantly field goal. He's able to go down and score at halftime. Right before the half. Always positive. Doesn't matter if it's 3 or not, or 7. You go down, you score. You know you're going to get 3. You have that in your mind. Then but he hadn't done it at the end of a game. Well, he did that at the end of the game. He went down and scored with 25 seconds left. 25 seconds left. And you had this thing like, man, it's one thing to believe in yourself and say, I can do it. It's another thing for you to get out there and do it. And he did it. He had 25 seconds on the clock, and you stole that away from him with your defensive play calling. I think that was huge for Eberflus with the 13 yards. Didn't matter. Oh, hell yeah, it mattered. The lack of see, Eberflus is losing me. Like, I believe he's lost the locker room, because first he would never take accountability. Now everything. Well, it was raining. That's all. It's raining today. That's overcast. Yeah, that's on me. I got to do a better job of dictating the weather. Everything is him now. Everything. Like, come on, dude. It's so ingenuous. Stop. We needed it back then. Now it's just, when someone pisses you off or they do something wrong and they're super, super duper nice. Like, dude, now you're being annoying. That's what he's doing. I think that's what he stole from Caleb, was that moment where he felt good about himself, taking his team down to win. His offense felt good about them going down and take the lead. His defense, the whole team felt good, and the city felt good. Like, we got a quarterback who could take us down at the end of the game and win. And he stole it from us. That's huge. That's huge. Talk about all the people coming out and shit. Jalen Johnson, all right, on the 6-7 to score. Kevin Byard talked about he came out against him as well. Cole Kmet talked about we don't, kind of go over good things in practice, or we don't fix mistakes in practice. A lot of things are coming out in the media. Do you believe he's lost this team?
Yeah, because the same stuff happened last year. It stole 3 games last year. We should have been 10-7. I mean, what was it against the Browns? And granted, the defense played their ass off against the Browns last year. But towards the end, when you really, what do you have is like 320-pound defensive lineman drop back into the zone or something. I don't know. It's just Joe Flacco off the couch beat us like 200 some odd yards in the fourth quarter. I mean, the Lions game.
The Broncos game.
The Broncos game as well. I mean, those are 3 games we have a 90% plus chance to win in the fourth quarter, and you lose. So yeah, it showed. And again, so here's the thing: do you blame Eberflus for being Eberflus? He showed you who he was. For the most part, you can make excuses, and I know I did. I say, hey man, try to understand what he's been dealing with. He's a really good coordinator. But if you see him this year, he's making the same. He is who he's been.
Yeah, and I give room for improvement.
So who do you hold accountable for that? Who should have seen that before anybody else? Who should be prescient enough to understand that situation going forward? Who came into a situation not too dissimilar than the one we find ourselves in right now? And if you should learn from anything, you should learn from the mistakes. Otherwise, you're going to do what? History is going to repeat itself. So that's my point. It goes back to that guy.
When can you? I mean, I get it, all right, but you got to give people a chance to grow, and draw that line. You got to give people a chance to grow.
Coaching wise, who you should? I don't disagree to the overall point of what you're making. If you kept Justin, then I see that. But when you go out and then you get a quarterback like Caleb, now you're taking a chance that it can blow up in your face because you're not in this league to make friends.
And that's what I said about this dude. He wants to make everybody happy. Like, dude, you try to make everybody happy, you're gonna make nobody happy. I think he does it with his players. They can. You're gone. Canned him. What happened?
Is it all Salah's fault? No.
Nope.
But somewhere along the way, yeah, you're the leader. We're the only organization that I know of that has not, at least in my lifetime, let a coach go mid-season. Why? And you want to send a signal to your players. You want to keep the players who are here wanting to stay here and not try and maneuver their way out of here. If you want to keep Keenan Allen, I'm not saying you have to. If you want to send a signal to your quarterback, if nothing else, that there are going to be changes here sooner than later. You know the great thing. It's a wonderful thing about the youth today. You know, I'm speaking as an old man. Okay, it's a wonderful thing about the youth. My wife said it not too long ago. She's like, you know what? The kids these days, they don't wait for changes. They're more audacious. They have more audacity about what they want. Why do I have to do it that way? Why do I have to go to college for 4 years and pay $100,000 or pay for a house when I can do this because I understand tech and I can make money online and I'm making more money than you, mom and dad? I'm gonna do that. I'm not saying. Well, my point is, there's more than one way to do something. We don't have to keep doing the same thing because we think that that's the way to do it. And the audacity of youth, Caleb, if nothing else, identifies that. He didn't want to wait when he was at Oklahoma. He felt he was better than the Rattler right away. I need to be playing. What are we doing here in Chicago? Eberflus's record is what? 0-18 on the road? Or 1-18, something crazy like that? You at least got what? 4 more road games? So that's 4 more losses? So that's 8 losses. The only road game you won recently was in London, and you were considered the home team? What are we doing here? Oh, I can't hear you.
Sorry, I hit this button.
Oh,
I said let's talk about this O-line. It's like we have, this. We've talked about it.
No, let's not talk about the O-line.
We talked about Justin. We talked about Caleb, but it all starts up front. And this guy that you want to go back to, and where the blame falls squarely in his lap, is Ryan Poles. Exactly. And it falls right in his lap. You should have got guys. You heard the Nate Davis. You heard the rumors about Nate Davis before you signed him. All right, because that was well documented. His not wanting to practice. We know his first year, the family situation. Okay, but then this year, and you didn't go get. And again, here for me was what. All right, you can go get a lot of good offensive linemen. If we're having these pass protection issues with 3 first and second round offensive linemen, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because you know what? They're going to get better. They're picked first round for a reason. They're going to have the rookie mistakes, just like Caleb, just like anybody else, just like Rome. Anybody else who's a rookie is going to have the rookie mistakes. But I know these guys are blue chippers, and give them the extra week for the Hall of Fame game. Give them to the middle of the season. They're going to get their shit together. And then when they do, these are top of the line offensive prospects that we're going to have blocking for my new quarter or for my. He didn't do that. He goes and gets guys off the scrap heap. Hell, who was it? Minnesota just got another. They traded for Jacksonville Jaguars offensive lineman.
Right.
Cam
Robinson.
Cam Robinson. Yeah, you got him. Like, he wasn't available. You didn't make that call. Like, come on, man. Like, we need help. And it bothers me that this guy. So my question to you is, when does Kevin Warren get involved? Because he's got a whole shitload of stuff dealing with the stadium.
He won't. There's no need for him to get involved right now.
Okay.
Because you got the first pick overall. You did all this other stuff. No, there's no need for him to get involved right now. There really isn't. I don't even see where his involvement would add to anything other than just more disarray. I really don't. You know, I was again discussing with my co-host. I'm like, look, bro, I'm like, name me outsider right out of Tennessee who looked like he had promised last year and this year either regression or I don't know what's going on with him this year with Darnell. But outside of Darnell, he hasn't drafted one offensive lineman in 3 drafts in the top 100. Arguably top 150, which goes into what mid fourth round, late fourth round.
King Booker World said it here earlier, and this is it's exactly, you know, you talk about the the things more than one way, and I agree with you on many things, but there's some things that are tried and true, especially in football. You got to build through that offensive and defensive line. You got to have you don't go anywhere without that, and that's what the Cowboys did. I mean, when the 3 first rounders on that offensive line, Eric Williams, Nate Newton, Stepnoski, Larry Allen, like you had these guys, and you got and these guys. That's why the Cowboys were so damn good, because Troy Aikman, after his rookie year of getting 37 concussions, right, didn't get touched very much.
Yeah, but they maximized their draft picks, and they got a lot of draft picks because they let the highest asset go. Look, when Herschel Walker was traded away from Dallas, a lot of people were like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" Especially in that region of the country, because they were used to seeing him in the South. I know he played at Georgia, not the Southwest. He was in the Southeast, but still, you knew who he was. He won a Heisman Trophy. You know, he was a guy that played with New Jersey Generals. If you were watching that, but Herschel did everything for that Dallas Cowboy team. He's running back kickoffs. He can catch the ball. He could run. All those things. He was their most explosive asset. He and Michael Irvin.
25 pounds, but running a 4.4. Yeah. He was an alternate on the Olympic track team.
Yeah, and durable. and a durable guy. And so they traded him for, one of the best, trades ever in NFL history, but they maximized it. And you look at a situation here now where it's like, what are you going to do going forward? Because I mean the Bears, have already gone into next year's draft capital to address issues that they still didn't address since it's been a problem in Chicago. You're still yet to draft an edge rusher where you felt like you knew that edge rusher was going to be the guy. Now, I think the young man that got out of Kansas, I think he'll grow. He's shown some promise.
So. Yeah, he's shown.
But there's a reason why they went, and by they, Poles and the staff went right back and utilized draft picks from next year to get Taylor from Seattle, because you still address it. We're still yet to draft a 3 technique to make this type of defense work. And you haven't drafted an offensive lineman of note other than Darnell Wright, which, okay, that's one person.
But you got to, there was and maybe I'll look into it, but there was someone had done the work for me already. It was on Twitter, and they had the rounds of the starting linemen, of the starting 5 for every team in the NFC North. And you see all first and second rounders, might have been one. Yeah, the Lions.
And
first and second.
And Vikings too.
Yeah, those guys, first and second round picks. And us, 6th,
7th, free agents.
Second round, which is good, which is Tevinjenkins.
Yeah, but that wasn't, he didn't draft him.
Yeah, he didn't draft him. No, but they were just showing like where those, what position, what rounded. And why do you think he constantly ignores that? Being a former offensive lineman, why do you think that this is his Achilles heel?
There's one word that comes to mind, and I can apply it sometimes to Caleb. If I'm going to be critical of Caleb to some degree, I won't say that Caleb lacks humility as much as he might have more hubris than humility. And I say the same thing with Poles. It's hubris. I know what I'm doing because I was a former offensive lineman. I can see offensive line talent. I understand what is needed. And he goes for certain body types. We see that in Amagaji, Darnell Wright, and the left tackle as well that he drafted, Braxton Jones. He goes for a certain body type. And I get the body type, but does the talent match the body type? And if not, is your offensive line coach doing enough to get? And maybe is your offensive line coach just getting what he can out of them? And somebody say arrogance, sure, but I think sometimes hubris to me, arrogance sometimes to me is more in your face. Hubris is more like, well, no, I think I know better. It's like arrogance. Yeah, it's like a quiet arrogance. It's like I don't mean to be arrogant. I just know what I'm doing. As opposed to arrogance, like, look, right. And that's where hubris goes wrong, because it's like, whereas an arrogant person will be like T.O., like Terrell Owens. Yo, I know I'm telling you I'm good. Or Muhammad Ali. I'm telling you I'm good. It's not hubris. I'm good. You know I'm good. I'm gonna kick. That's arrogant. Arrogant usually is backed up by production. Hubris is usually let down by lack of production. That's how I make the distinction between the two. And I think that's what we're seeing right now with our general manager. There's a little bit. There's a bit of hubris there. He's a well-meaning guy. He's not an arrogant. He has humility, to some degree. But to have that position, you've got to be confident in your abilities and in the calls that you make. And I just hope that we don't find out down the line. I just hope it doesn't come out where it's a thing like when we had with the previous GM and Ryan Pace, where it came to looking at these list of quarterbacks that are available, and you didn't do all of your due diligence. You just did enough to justify what you really wanted to do. Like if you really wanted Caleb and you focused on finding all the things that make it seem like Caleb is the right pick, okay. But did you do enough with Jaden? Did you understand that he understands how to read football, and that he understands how to read defenses, and that he knows how to make calls? Because it looks right now that young man has all the intellectual acumen that you need to be an elite quarterback, not just a good quarterback, to be an elite quarterback in the league.
Yeah. You're talking about, people have mentioned, I think I maybe even mentioned it to you before, that there was, a lot of rumors of saying he drafts guys who are similar to him, guys who are projects and, not highly touted. Mike, one of the things that I also ask is like, okay, maybe not that, but why don't you get any dogs? Like, why don't you get any nasty mother hubbards? I mean, okay, Tevinjenkins, but he didn't draft Tevin.
He didn't draft. Darnell, right?
Darnell, but right, but he does have a nasty attitude. But why don't you get more of those? Why don't you have a whole offensive line full of nasty bitches, just nasty guys who really want to draw? You know what I mean? I mean, he takes so much, personality. Like, we want good guys. You could be a nasty motherfucker and still be a good guy. You can want to put someone 6 feet under or pancake him every play and still be a good guy. Why do you think he picks these not A-type personalities?
Did you not invite me on your show? Were you not paying attention earlier? Here's the universal book of what we want in Chicago. Can you abide by this? This is what we're giving you. We don't want nasty mofos here. We want guys that are respectable. Anybody that makes the matriarch a little nervous, we don't want them in Palace Hall.
Yeah,
got to be good, clean cut. Did you go to a Catholic school? Did you go to parochial public?
And it's frustrating, man. You saw Kieran Amagaji get in, and he wasn't ready. I mean, it's like, my goodness, it's that's a big jump up from Yale. Not even at a Power 5, dude. He's at Yale. That's a big jump up to the NFL.
Well, and that's where the hubris goes in, Shawn, to your point. And you're drafting some of these guys like they're going to be the backups that are going to learn and be ready to be, in a year, 2-3 years, to be ready to ascend and take that position, where you haven't really addressed the fact that your starters aren't really good. And that's the hubris. Amagaji is a player you take when he's going to be the 7th offensive lineman, 6th or 7th offensive lineman. He's the guy in waiting. No, you still need to draft guys that can play right now. What are you waiting for? A draft. Or everyone was telling me when you get Caleb, the way you address offensive line, you got enough money with free agency. Okay, guess what? Free agency means what? That free agent has the decision of whether or not he even wants to go there, no matter what you're offering him. He still can make the decision, it's not going to work for me. And not only that, but the other people are also offering. It's not like just because you got money and because you say so, they're going to come here. You still got to convince them. Yeah, you still got to convince them. And they still, and other people are offering money. So, but if you draft somebody, you take that choice away from them to some degree. And then maybe once they become part of your organization, maybe it works out and they stay, whatever the case might be. But you got them for 4 years. But a free agent, you're probably going to get them for 2 to 3 years, maybe. And you got to convince that person to stay and what they're asking for. All those kind of things. It's not easy. By no means am I trying to say it's an easy fix and polls could have done this, that, and such, and they'd be a lot better. Life is dynamic. Things are mercurial. Hell, in Chicago, we know what the weather is. Okay, it was 60 something and it was raining, and it's probably going to snow next week. So whatever. And then the sunshine come out at 72 again. So it's mercurial. It's not an easy fix. I get that, but just like everyone has alluded to, or those on this chat have alluded to, there are some fundamental things that seem to have been ignored, eschewed to some degree. And those fundamental things are showing their head right now in a very ugly fashion. And you can point to other organizations that pay attention to that religiously, and they have sustainable winning. Ravens, Steelers, you look to the Packers, even the Eagles. As much as they don't like their head coach, they were still 11-6 last year. We kill for that right now.
And running the ball on everybody's God bless the throat.
Yeah, that was last year. They struggled to 11-6 last year. Okay, you struggle. You look to the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs said, "Whoa, okay, hey, Patrick can do a lot of things, but he can't block too." And after that Super Bowl where he got manhandled by Buccaneers, they've been addressing their line. They keep trying to make, and they haven't hit on every single player. They still have some issues on the line, but they keep addressing it. They keep paying attention to it. With significant players, the Bears aren't doing that. And even Dallas, as bad as Dallas has been, and they're having a bad year this year, they still had 3 successive seasons of 10 plus more wins. When was the last time we could say that in Chicago? Successive seasons. Jeez. Now even Lovey, I don't even think Lovey might have had 2. He might have had that happen once. But you really got to go back to the 80s Bears, mid 80s Bears into the early 90s to see where the team was winning 10 plus games every year. And that was because you had a core. It wasn't because it didn't matter who the quarterback was. You have a better quarterback, you better your chances of winning, no doubt. But whether it was Tom Zach, whether it was Fuller, whether it was Flutie, whether it was Jim McMahon, the core, the offensive line, the defense, the running game, the special teams, those things were intact. The Bears won, and the winning was sustainable through the mid 80s into the early 90s. It's just the case, man. And as much as things change, they still say the same in a lot of ways when it comes to how football and understanding how the game is played.
When did we get Lovey? 01, 02?
No. Lovey was more like, I think he was 04.
Okay.
I think he was 04. It might have been 03, but I think he was 04. I want to say it was around the same time I started at Comcast Sportsnet. I want to say around the same time.
We'll start at 04. 04, 5-11. 05, 11-5. 06, 13-3. It's 2 consecutive double-digit wins. 07, 7-9. Then 9-7. Then 7-9. Then 11-5. Then 8-8. Then 10-6.
Yeah, not successive. He had 4 seasons. Yeah, no 3. So as much as Dallas Cowboy fans upset, look, y'all have won 10 plus games 3 years in a row. You nut up and you get to the playoffs. That's a different situation. That's your coaching and it's your GM, whatever. But the talent's there.
No, I agree. The talent is definitely there. Talk to me about this defense, though. So he's having an issue. All right, they gave up 200 yards rushing.
They missed a lot of people yesterday. I mean, last week.
They did. You think that was the main cause of it? No Montez Sweat. Billings went out. No Jaquan Brisker, no Kyler Gordon. I mean, that's for your starters. 3.5 because Billings played a little bit, but
yeah, I think that contributed to it majorly. Also, too, the 50-yard run, you take that off. That's not supposed to happen. Now you're around 140, 150 yards. You give them the game, and add on to that the hangover from the loss the week before.
Do you think Washington beat us twice?
Yes. No. I think Eberflus beat us twice. but yes, it helped. But here's the thing. You know why it happened that way? Here's why I say that. Yes, it's clearly the case because the last play before half was I don't want to get beat deep like I just got beat deep last week. So because what normally happens at the end of the half if you're that far away, you throw a Hail Mary. You don't really care. You go into halftime. Okay, hey, we tried it. Whatever. A lot of teams do that. So he was prepared for that, and he just ran the ball and kept running. I don't mean to laugh, but it's just like
you gotta laugh so you don't cry.
Yes, it's the irony of ironies. I have to laugh. If I'm not laughing, I'm crying on the inside. I'm Pagliacci right now. I'm laughing because I'm the clown that's crying on the outside, or whatever, or crying on the inside. Excuse me. So yeah, it clearly, the thing. And again, I'll go back, chime to my partners. It's like, and I'll go back to Smoke. What he was saying, it's like, and we both agree, the Bears are such a reactionary organization. And that's what I've always been saying. And what Smoke was saying was like, he's like, this organization tends to let the media dictate the narrative that the team should follow. He's like, did you have to take Caleb? Was Caleb clear and far the best quarterback in the draft? I don't know if he was clear and far. I think depending on what you want, you could say he's better at this than that. But I look at Jayden Daniels, and I remember being asked this question. It's like, between those two quarterbacks, do you prefer one of the better, or which one is better than the other? I said, no, I think they're both good differently. Jayden's more explosive. I just read off the stat to you earlier. He has 459 yards rushing and 4 rushing touchdowns. You combine that with the 9 touchdown passes and only the 2 interceptions he has. You're talking, what, a 6-to-1 scoring touchdown ratio to turnover ratio?
Gee, that's not good.
He's explosive, and so that puts a different kind of pressure. Caleb he's like more like Russell Wilson in terms of he's a scrambler who can move upfield, but he's not really trying to run. Caleb has said that himself. He literally said that himself all the time.
He literally has. And to me, that was the biggest issue, though, Glenn, is like, when you got this guy, like, we go back to all the things that this guy did. And the biggest thing, again, to me, just because they made the trade or they kept the number 1 pick and traded Justin, doesn't mean it was the right decision. And we're starting to see it rear its ugly head. Okay, because like I said, you get a couple of offensive linemen, okay, that you put in the mix. All right, Justin, and the thing was, Shane Waldron, when they signed him, they signed him, I was like, holy cow! When they hired him, like, oh man, it's definitely Justin, because he's worked with veteran quarterbacks and Gino in particular, but even Russ at that particular point. I'm like, okay, that's why I was excited. that's why I thought that was the route they were going. Right. And man, it just seems like, and here Jay Grizz says you could change in one season.
This is going to go to
it all depends on what your identity is, what you to be. Shane Waldron has to make sure that this is my identity. I know I'm a passing guy, but my identity needs to be established to run, period. When I'm established to run, here's a crazy idea. Everything else opens up. I know not a lot of people know that, but when you establish a run, everything else opens up. And he refused to do that.
To your point, with the offensive line, and you said you thought that they were going to go in terms of keeping Justin. And again, I'm not trying to start the whole Justin Caleb thing. For the love of God, understand that, everybody. But to your point, what you're saying is we're going to use this pick to get more players. And with that, you can draft more offensive linemen. You can draft other players to put around the quarterback you have. And you're seeing that as Jay Grizz said earlier, you're seeing that in LA with the Chargers.
Yep.
Herbert, look, man, I've said this, and I still stand on this 10 toes down. Herbert and Trevor Lawrence are 2 quarterbacks that have been given a humongous pass. I don't understand how those guys have not been excoriated by the media. Herbert's on his 3rd head coach or 4th head coach.
I want to say 3.
I think he's on his 3rd head coach in 6 years, 5 years. Lawrence is on his 2nd head coach, and this guy's about to get let go, so he'll be on his 3rd head coach. And they've both been given contract extensions, and they ain't done nothing. In the only playoff game they both went to, they had to play each other. So one of them had to win, one of them had to lose, and they both look good and bad, winning and losing at the same time. It's I can't make this stuff up. But to Grizz's point, you get Harbaugh in there, he makes a decision like, you know what? Let all these receivers go. We're going to run the ball. I'm going to protect my quarterback, and we'll build. And probably in another 2 or 3 years, we can get back to where he's throwing 350 yards a game and we're lighting it up or whatever the case might be. But again, to my point, you don't have to have a superstar quarterback to win, because Harbaugh is not having the quarterback win games. Quarterback wins games when there's times where I need you to show up, but you ain't got to show up every single play.
Glenn, that's exactly what I said. I said, and everyone says you need a superstar quarterback. I'm like, no, you don't. I'm like, yes. I said, everyone looks at Patrick Mahomes, said you need someone to beat him. I'm like, but wait a minute. I'm like, Russell Wilson, I wouldn't call him a superstar or generational quarterback. I said, Russell Wilson's not a generational quarterback. I said, he almost won 2 Super Bowls. If it wasn't for one play, he would have won. All he had to do was turn a hand off the beast mode, and he would have been a 2-time Super Bowl winning champion. What happened? They had a defense, they had a run game, and they had good receivers, and he didn't make mistakes. And then we had a good defense. We have a good defense. We have a run game with Justin, and we got DJ Moore. Exactly what the Seattle Seahawks did. And man, had they not lost that game, I think they could have been a lot more consistent in their Super Bowl appearances. They would have been there probably one more time. Everyone got pissed at that, and they're done. So.
Yeah, and to everyone's point, I think Jay Grish just brought up Kirk Cousins. It's like, yeah, well, Kirk Cousins, when he came from Washington to Minnesota, he wasn't a superstar quarterback, but they had a lot of things in place. They had line, defense, so on and so forth. He's in Atlanta now. Atlanta has a lot of things in place. They just needed a quarterback. You look at Pittsburgh right now. Pittsburgh is laughing all the way to a division lead right now. With quarterbacks, they're paying less than $7 billion combined. And now they can go out and they can get Preston Smith. They can go out and they can get Mike Williams to help. And it's like, whatever Russ is going to ask for next year, they may or may not pay it. And Justin gets to learn underneath all that. Right now, they probably have the best quarterback depth outside of maybe Green Bay, potentially, in the NFL. I just say Green Bay just because we haven't seen Malik Willis lose yet. but between what Russell Wilson, I don't understand why everyone thought Russell Wilson was garbage. I'm like, dude, he's not garbage, but yeah, he's a good quarterback still. I don't know if there's anything left in the tank. How can you say that? He's never had like a super serious injury. He had a decent year statistically last year. He just didn't jive with the head coach. That's all. And now you give him a situation where it's a great defense, coaching staff, organizations in place, solid running back. The offensive line is still a work in progress, but it's improving. It's young, it's big, it's athletic. They got the center that we probably could have drafted out of West Virginia. I'm just saying, They got 2 big-ass tight ends who can run, block, and catch the ball. They're going to be a problem. Now they got a big wide receiver that can help take the pressure off of Pickens. But they didn't go out of their way. And they drafted a quarterback in the first round a few years ago. But they didn't go out of their way. How often do you see the Pittsburgh Steelers, trading up? How often do you see them in free agency just going after one free agent after the other? They don't. The Ravens don't do that either.
Nope.
The Ravens don't do that either. And you talk about Mahomes being generational. Mahomes wasn't generational when he was drafted.
Nope.
He came out of Texas Tech. There was a school that put up quarterbacks that were putting up 5,000 yards every year in college and never did anything in the pros. Cliff Kingsbury was one of those guys.
Like to run and shoot. Remember?
Yes. Cliff Kingsbury was
David
one of those
Klingler's.
guys.
Yeah. Cliff Kingsbury was at Texas Tech, and he threw the ball all over the yard. Yeah.
Yes. Graham Harrelson. I can name you the guys. Baker Mayfield. Okay. So Mahomes wasn't generational, but he was brought into a situation that was everything was in place already. Same thing with Ben Roethlisberger. In that draft, number one was Eli Manning. Second quarterback off the board was Phillip Rivers. Roethlisberger was the third guy, but he went to a Pittsburgh team that had everything in place. He's supposed to sit behind Tommy Maddox. Tommy Maddox got hurt. It's the only reason why Roethlisberger started playing. Then they realized, okay, we can just keep going and playing with this kid. And they won. He started out 7-0. Why? Not because he was great, because they say, hey, kid, don't mess it up. You look at Tom Brady. 6th-round pick, no nothing in terms of draft picks go. He wins the Super Bowl. Why? Because everything else is in place. I mean, they didn't have great wide receivers, but they had a solid
phenomenal defense and running defense,
solid running game, had an identity, played to their strengths. Blase, Hall of Fame. Here we go.
Glynn, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it, man. Do me a favor, though. Let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
You can find me at Easy Smoking and Gym, wherever you get your wherever you listen to your podcast. Most definitely. We also it gets a lot more. It's a lot more. I'm trying to be very respectful when I'm on your show here, but the expletives kind of fly. We kind of get into our feelings a little bit on easy smoking the GM. So definitely wherever you can listen to your podcast, and also to Real Glynn Morgan at True Glynn Morgan on I ain't never saying X on Twitter. What's formerly known as Twitter.
Hey, great stuff, buddy. As always, man, we could talk for another hour or two, bro.
Most definitely. Oh, I forgot. Most importantly, on Shawn and Amaya in the morning, you can find me on this too.
All right, man. Great stuff, buddy. We'll talk soon. Hey, and
right,
I'll hit you up. So we'll hit lunch. See if we can do lunch next week.
I got a lot more free time on my hands, so I'm a little more flexible these days.
Good. I'll reach out. We'll do some lunch.
All right, brother. Peace, man.
All right, man. Thank you. Guys, that's Glynn Morgan, formerly of NBC Sports Chicago, and the draft analyst over there. Man, great stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. But listen, 2 hours is coming. I got to run. I got to go pick up the warden. She's at CrossFit class, probably like, where the hell's my son? Listen, you guys have a phenomenal day. It's good. It's an overcast day here in Chicago. Nice and gloomy. It's 50, probably high 50s, low 60s today. Nice sweater, hoodie weather. All right. Do me a favor, folks. Do yourself a favor. Reach out to somebody that you love, that your loved ones know you love them, because as I always say, tomorrow is promised to no one. So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, guys, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. This will be replayed tonight at 6 p.m. You can catch it then. But until then, I got to go. I got to run. Your boy, the SuperBack. Guess what, folks? I got to go. We'll see you. Your boy, the SuperBack. I am out.